All right, let's talk sales negotiation. If you're in the game, you know it's everything. But what if I told you that most of what we've learned is, well, wrong? We're about to tear up the old playbook and build a new one, straight from Chris Voss's masterpiece, Never Split the Difference. This is your new tactical guide. Let's dive in.
Okay, so look at this. On one side, you've got the old way, right? Traditional negotiation. It's all about logic, being tough, a battle of wills, basically who's going to blink first. And the goal? Compromise. But now, look at the other side, the new rules. This is a total paradigm shift. It's not about logic, it's about emotion. It's not a fight, it's collaborative discovery. You're not trying to win, you're trying to solve a problem with them. Big difference, right? So how do we make that leap? Well, we're going to break it down step by step. Think of this as our coaching session. We'll start with the new mindset, getting your head in the right space. Then we'll get into the practical stuff, opening the conversation, shaping the deal. After that, we hit the big one, bargaining and closing. And to finish it off, we'll give you a simple tactical playbook to make all this a daily habit.
Okay, let's kick things off. Section 1, the new negotiation mindset. And here's the absolute foundation for everything we're about to cover. It's not about logic, it's about emotion. I'm going to say that again because it's that important. Human beings, your clients, your prospects, they make decisions based on how they feel, not just on what a spreadsheet tells them.
You know, the thing is, the most dangerous negotiation is the one you don't even realize you're in. That's why you got to start treating every interaction, whether it's with a prospect, a longtime client, heck, even someone on your own team, as a process of discovery. Your goal isn't to beat them or win the point. Your mission is to figure out what's really going on in their world.
All right, so we've got the mindset down, but how do we put it into action? How do we actually, start? That brings us right to section 2, opening the conversation. This is all about building rapport and gathering that crucial intel. And the key, the absolute key, is to make the other person feel safe and understood right from the get-go.
And our first tool is so simple, you might not believe how powerful it is. It's called mirroring. All it is repeating the last 1 to 3 words someone just said to you. Seriously, that's it. It feels a little weird at first, I get it, but trust me, it's like a magic trick. It slows things down, builds an incredible amount of rapport, and gets them to just keep talking. It taps into that basic human desire we all have to feel heard.
Okay, so what does this actually sound like? Let's say your prospect says, we're really concerned about the implementation timeline. Now, your instinct is to jump in and solve it, right? Oh, don't worry, we're fast. But nope, you just mirror them. You lean in with a genuinely curious voice and say, the implementation timeline. And then you just shut up. Be quiet. I promise you, 9 times out of 10, they will fill that silence and tell you exactly what the real problem is.
Okay, tool number 2 is called labeling. And this is the core of what Chris Voss calls tactical empathy. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about agreeing with them or saying, I feel your pain. It's about acknowledging their feelings. You're basically a detective, spotting their emotion and naming it out loud. It's an incredible way to disarm tension and show them, hey, I get it. I'm paying attention.
And how you do it is super important. You use these soft, non-confrontational lead-ins. Things like, it seems like, or it sounds like, or it looks like. So instead of saying, you're worried about the budget, you'd say, it seems like the budget is a point of concern. See the difference? It gives them space to either agree or correct you, without putting them on the defensive.
Now, this next part is a big one. As salespeople, we're trained to fear the word no. It feels like rejection, like failure. But I want you to completely reframe that. A no is not the end, it's the beginning. When your counterpart says no, they finally feel safe. They feel like they're in control. And that's when the walls come down and the real, honest conversation can finally start.
Okay, so once we've used mirrors and labels to build that trust to make them feel safe, we can shift gears. We're moving into section 3, shaping the deal. This is where we go from just gathering intel to actively guiding the conversation, gently influencing things toward the solution we want.
Forget about getting to yes. That's not the goal. The 2 words you should be obsessed with hearing are, that's right. When you hear that's right, it's like a key turning in a lock. It's a huge breakthrough. It means you've articulated their position so well that they feel completely and totally understood. And at that exact moment, they become open to your ideas.
So how do you get them to say it? It's a simple 3-step dance. First, you just listen, intently. You're hunting for their core emotions, their true drivers. Step 2, you summarize their world back to them, using those labels we talked about. So it sounds like the real issue isn't just the price, but the fear of a messy rollout that could upset your team. And then, step 3, you guessed it, you pause. You let that summary hang in the air. That's when you'll hear those magic words. That's right.
And once you get that, that's right, it's time to deploy another one of your secret weapons, calibrated questions. These are not just any questions. They're super smart, open-ended questions that almost always start with how or what. The genius of these is that they give your counterpart the illusion of control, when in reality, they're helping you solve your problem.
Here's a classic, a total game changer. They hit you with an insane request, something you just can't do. Your gut says, no way. But instead, you calmly and respectfully ask, how am I supposed to do that? What happens? You've just forced them to step into your shoes, to see the problem from your side. It completely changes the dynamic from a fight to a problem-solving session.
Here's another great one. What about this is most important to you? This is like a surgical tool. You use it to cut through all the noise. They might be hammering you on price, but when you ask this question, you might discover that what's really driving them is the fear of looking bad to their boss if the project is late. It helps you find the real motivation.
And then there's this beauty. How would you like me to proceed? This one is just brilliant. You are literally handing them the reins, or at least that's what it feels like to them. It makes them feel powerful, respected, in charge, but because you've already shaped the conversation with your labels and summaries, they're almost always going to steer things right where you wanted them to go anyway.
Okay, you've built rapport, you've shaped the deal, now it's time for the part everyone gets nervous about. Section 4, bargaining and closing. This is the nitty-gritty. This is where a lot of deals fall apart, but not for you because we're going to give you a structured system to follow.
When it comes to price, you're not just going to wing it. You're going to use what's called the Ackerman bargaining model. It's a specific step-by-step process. First, know your target price, the price you actually want. Then, your first offer is a precise anchor, 65% of that target. Let them react. Your next move is a big jump, up to 85%. Then a smaller jump to 95%. You see the psychology here? Each jump gets smaller, signaling that you're getting close to your limit. And for the grand finale, you offer your target price, 100%, and you throw in a small non-monetary item. This makes them feel like they've won, like they've squeezed every last penny out of you.
Now listen, getting them to agree on a price isn't the end of the game. So many deals die after the handshake. You have to lock down the execution. Ask calibrated questions like, how are we going to make this work in practice? And, this is a huge one, ask, who else on your team will be affected by this decision? You need to smoke out the hidden deal killers, the people who weren't in the room but can veto everything later.
All right, we've covered a ton, so let's bring it all home in our final section, Section 5, your tactical playbook. Because knowing this stuff is one thing, but actually doing it is another. These are the daily habits you need to build to make these skills second nature.
Think of this as your daily workout, your practice drills. First, mirror someone 3 times a day. Do it with the barista, your spouse, anyone. Low stakes. Second, practice labeling emotions in your team meetings. Just observe and try it out internally. Third, stop asking, do you agree, and start asking, is this a bad idea? You'll get much more honest answers. And finally, the hardest one for most of us, after you ask a great calibrated question, learn to embrace the silence. Don't speak, let them.
So here's the pro tip, the big idea that ties it all together. Think of it like a 1-2 punch. First comes tactical empathy, your mirrors, your labels, your summaries. That's the jab that makes them feel safe and lowers their guard. Then comes the cross, your calibrated questions. That's what gets them to reveal the crucial information that helps you close the deal. Empathy first, then questions. They're a team.
And that leaves us with one final idea to chew on. In every single negotiation, there's hidden information, things you don't even know you don't know. Voss calls these black swans. They're the game changers, the single piece of information that if you found it would change everything. So my challenge to you is this. In your very next negotiation, go in with one question burning in your mind. What is the black swan here? If you listen with this new toolkit, you just might find it.